Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions and we're back with another new show. This is for the Sex and the City sequel show called And Just Like That. I'm probably not going to react to the whole series. I just have to react to the premiere because people have been talking about it. I've seen a lot of people hating it. And this is one of those shows. I had HBO growing up, so a lot of these shows I watched because I didn't have options. And if you wanted to watch R-rated content, Netflix and things like that didn't exist. So you had to watch HBO. I watched Sopranos and Oz and stuff like this. The girl I was dating at the time was into this. And I think I was like a sophomore in high school, maybe around that time. I watched the way more violent shows on HBO, but I watched enough of this to follow along, to be curious on what this is. I seen both movies. All I know is I'm going to jump into this. I figured let me just react to the premiere. Let me see if it's something worth reacting to. I'll keep rolling with it. But honestly, I just saw so much hype about it. I figured I know the characters. I know the story. Let me see how it all starts in this show and we'll see where we go from there. I'm probably just going to chop it up into the top 3 moments of the show just to make it easier and get something out because honestly, I don't know what to expect. So you guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited reactions of most of the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, Patreon link at the end, dozens of exclusives, so many shows you wouldn't even believe it. Go check the link at the end for Patreon. If not, the premiere season 1, episode 1, and just like that. It's Bitsy. Oh, Bitsy.
Fourth Musketeer. Where's Samantha?
Where is the fourth Musketeer?
No longer with us.
Did they kill her?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. She's in London.
Oh, thank
I know she's not in the show. She's something. I love it. I think she's great. They all look kind of the same.
You know, it is kind of like she's dead, Samantha.
I told her that because of, what the book business is now, it just didn't make sense for me to keep her on as a publicist. Have you spoken to her?
No, neither has Charlotte.
She said very bluntly.
I always thought the 4 of us would be friends forever.
Kim Cattrall said in an interview years ago, I am done. We never really were
Carrie,
friends.
my hair?
Fabulous.
Oh, Miranda. Lots of young people.
That's where the professor sits.
Guaranteed someone's coming in and she's going to think it's not the professor.
That's where the professor
And now it's going to be like bad.
Sorry, he just told me.
Oh, and he just told...
It's fine.
You're the professor?
Yeah.
You're Nia Wallace? Well, your braids.
A law professor can't have hair like mine.
My comment had nothing whatsoever to do with it being a black hairstyle. I knew that you were
my
black.
God,
when I
she
signed
just
up
dug
for
a
this
hole.
class. I picked this class because you're such a force in academia, on top of everything you do as a community activist. Please just forget that I ever said anything about your hair.
That's getting
Hair
your
has
foot caught in your
nothing-
mouth.
Cishet man
She's
is
from Grey's Anatomy when I used to watch
Jackie.
100
up,
years
sister?
ago. Bobby Lee!
I'll go.
Bobby
Hi,
Lee,
Carrie.
man.
I
Amazing.
have a question for you about women. Why don't you see women jerking it on the subway?
I'm hoping that's a multiple choice question.
I saw a guy jerking off on the J train today.
I guess that's what the J stands for. I'm an equal opportunity confuser.
That's pretty
What about you,
good. I
Carrie?
like that.
Oh, me what?
So I'm asking you about masturbation.
Why is she getting so
Particularly
weird?
you. Do you masturbate?
Okay. Yes, sorry. Let's see. Oh, yes, I'm here. Okay. Not since Barney's closed.
What's Barney's?
Okay, now that's offensive.
Look at this guy. This guy's like a jokester the whole show.
Allegra Planche, and thank you for joining
Allegra?
me for this
Here we go.
45-minute power ride.
I always love Mario Cantone. He did a show called Steampunk Alley back when I was a kid in like the 80s. I feel like the piano's gonna make it really hard to edit. And Mario Cantone is like, what the hell is going on? Why are they making this like a big deal? They're clearly hyping the situation up with the piano, but he looks chill. He looks all right. Is he gonna slip? Nah, he's...
I'm here.
Is he gonna say like a few last words? He might already be dead. He's breathing. Oh my God, how long's he been sitting there?
John! Oh, John, honey.
His phone's right there. He's so weak he couldn't even go to his phone.
Oh, baby.
She was in the audience at the concert.
Oh, God.
I understand it's traumatic, but she probably should not like be covering his mouth and maybe calling 911.
And just like that, they
And
died.
just like that, and just like that, Big died. All right, guys. Well, in all honesty, I didn't expect one of the main people to die. To me, I'm thinking, all right, maybe he'll get sick or something, and then there'll be like some thing where he's got cancer or I don't know, he'll have a heart attack or something, but not actually die. It's awfully dark in a show like this. This show was mainly a comedy. It was a drama, but it was mainly a comedy, like a dirty sexual comedy. And I felt like most of this was just showing how old and silly the women have gotten. Like Carrie and Miranda specifically. Charlotte has always been like Charlotte, and she gets by and everything. But Miranda and Carrie literally seem like they're just naive to everything. The way Miranda acted in that classroom and the things she was saying, she just went into one bad move after another with the way she was talking. First, she tells the girl, well, I didn't think you'd be a teacher with hair like that. I didn't mean with hair like that, like black people hair. I mean, not that you have black people hair, but then like while she's doing all that, she's also insulting the person that originally told her don't sit in the chair of the professor, going, yeah, he told me that. And then the person says, excuse me, with the pronouns. So Miranda somehow found a way to insult like a half a room of people, maybe more, in several statements. And obviously we know Miranda. We know Miranda's not that kind of person, but my God, you've been in law for 30 years and you don't know how to speak properly. She deals with courtrooms and clients, and she's a lawyer. How do you not know how to speak properly in that environment? That is really making her look horrible. And then Carrie goes to this radio show. She's a podcaster. She wrote Sex and the City. The whole show, Sex and the City, revolved around the fact that Carrie would talk about sex in the city. And now she's on a podcast, and because it's in person, in real life, she's struggling to talk about masturbation. And like, I don't know, the whole thing was just bizarre. And then we ended on Mr. Big horrifyingly dying, like traumatic fashion. He is riding his bike, and then he looks like he's just like winded because he gave it it was a good workout. He was going all out with Allegra. He smoked a cigar. They made a point of it to say he smoked a cigar and, his weekly cigar, and he's doing Allegra. Like, come on, guys, that's pushing it a little. But I didn't think it was going to go dark like that. If anything, I thought maybe he'd end up in the hospital and maybe he died the next episode or something like that, but we get more out of it. I just think it's funny that we barely got Big in this episode, and it ends with him dying, and that was it. It went to black. And the way it ends is her saying, and just like that, the name of the show, he dies. Is it going to end every episode like that? Maybe that's the gimmick of the show. Maybe every episode's going to end with, and just like that, bup, bup, bup. And that's how every episode's going to end. I don't know. It's how this one ended. But holy crap. I mean, I'm not as emotionally connected to these characters because, like I said, this wasn't a show I would die to watch every week, but I watched it every week. My girlfriends always watched it. Like I said, HBO was a channel I watched often, so I am familiar with all the characters. I know the background to all of them. Like I said, Mario Cantone, I love. Steampunk Alley was a show I watched as a kid. He was a game show host. He plays Stanford's husband, so it was nice to see they got everybody pretty much involved. Even Bitsy was in the beginning. They explained where Samantha went really quick, so you didn't have any questions on that. They even dipped a little bit deeper into that right after they said it. They didn't just be like, yeah, she's in London, peace. They actually went deeper into it, like, yeah, like it was a problem with the book thing because like books weren't selling, so she started doing the podcast. She couldn't keep Samantha on anymore, and there was a misunderstanding, and she split. So I don't know, maybe we'll get more of that, but I said it in the episode as well. Kim Cattrall said blatantly she didn't want to be part of this. So I'm actually kind of shocked, and it wasn't a bad episode. I just feel like it's a totally different kind of show, and I feel like they almost made the main women look silly. It was almost like they were insulting them, like, oh, you're a bunch of old women now and you're forgetting everything and you just say and do stupid shit and look stupid in front of the young kids. I love that Bobby Lee was in it. I do not know the actress's name, but the girl from Grey's Anatomy was in it, and they had the radio show that they were on talking about masturbation. Loved all that. Bobby Lee, one of my favorite. They were even talking about masturbation, which I watch Bobby Lee's show all the time, Tiger Belly, and if you watch that show, he talks often about how he had a strong sex addiction and masturbating was like a huge problem and he had to go to rehab and stuff for that. So it was interesting that they chose of all topics that to talk about. But I might jump into the next episode just out of curiosity. I want to see how they start this. Like there's going to be a funeral and stuff, I'm guessing, but holy crap. Sad, man. The way Big was like looking into her face when Kerry walked in, they had a moment where they stared at each other for like a good 60 seconds. And that's a lot of time when you're watching somebody you love die. And he kind of gave like a little smile as if to be like, at least I got to see you before I die. I'm assuming that's what they were doing. He gave a little smirk like at least I got to see you before I die, because they really truly did love each other. It's just crazy that they look like they have everything. They're filthy rich. They have the craziest house with the bathroom and the walk-in closets and everything they could ever want. And then he dies working out, staying home. Like, it's sad and horrible. I always find it hard to believe that in that circumstance, if it was like me, I'd want to believe I could reach the phone and make a call or do something. But he looked like he was trying his best, and he's a fit guy. Even at his age, he looks pretty damn fit. And he couldn't even grab the phone. His arm locked up. He looked dead to rights pretty much. And she was in the audience when he collapsed. So she had to have took at least 30 minutes to get home, which means he was sitting there for a while. He was just holding on to see her one last time. I hear stories like that all the time where people hold on way longer than you think they could or should, because it's like they just want that moment. Like he got his moment. And then she dove for him and they're rolling around in the water and she's crying and it's horribly upsetting. But I mean, she's got to collect herself and call the cops or the ambulance. Maybe she could have saved him, but it is the show and it is what it is. I'm going to jump into the next one. I'm going to record it. We'll see if I throw them up. You guys let me know what you think. I'm just going to put up like the top 3 moments. It was a decent episode. I definitely have a lot of questions for the choices they made, but hey, we'll talk in the comments. You guys want to be way ahead on most of the shows, seasons ahead on the ones you're seeing on the channel, Patreon link in front of me, dozens of exclusives, hundreds of hours of shows you'll only see on Patreon. Check the link. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.